Did you know that a young African leader, barely 35, has managed to not only survive 18 assassination attempts, but also shake the very foundations of a former colonial empire's economy? How did Ibrahim Traoré, the president of Burkina Faso, defy the odds, and why does his leadership matter now more than ever? Chapter 1. The Rise of Ibrahim Traoré. In October 2022, Ibrahim Traoré became Africa's youngest president at the age of 35. Born into humble beginnings, he was a captain in Burkina Faso's military and had lived through the struggles his people faced daily. His rise came during a period of immense crisis. Insurgency gripped the nation, poverty weighed heavily on its people, and faith in the government had hit rock bottom. Traoré wasn't a polished politician groomed for power. He rose as a symbol of hope for a nation that desperately needed change. Traoré's appeal lay in his authenticity. He didn't just speak of change, he embodied it. Unlike his predecessors, he refused to make hollow promises. Instead, he presented a bold vision for Burkina Faso, one rooted in sovereignty and self-reliance. Traoré envisioned a nation that could stand tall without bending to foreign powers, particularly France, whose influence had loomed over the country for decades. Chapter 2. Breaking the Chains of Colonial Legacy. For years, France had maintained a stranglehold on Burkina Faso's resources, particularly its lucrative gold reserves. Through exploitative trade agreements, French companies extracted billions of dollars worth of gold, leaving Burkina Faso's people impoverished. When Traoré took office, he immediately began dismantling this colonial legacy. He nationalized key industries, cut off exploitative trade agreements, and expelled French troops who had long been stationed in the country under the guise of fighting insurgency. But Traoré's boldest move was cultural. He declared that French would no longer be an official language in Burkina Faso, prioritizing indigenous languages instead. This decision struck at the heart of the colonial narrative and signaled a reclaiming of the nation's identity. His actions weren't just symbolic, they were a direct challenge to centuries of French dominance. Chapter 3. France's retaliation. France did not take Traoré's defiance lightly. The French government responded with a mix of economic pressure, diplomatic isolation, and covert operations aimed at destabilizing his leadership. Traoré accused France of supporting terrorist groups in Burkina Faso, claiming that French military bases in neighboring Benin were centers of operations for these groups. Despite France's denial of these accusations, the tension only grew. The economic fallout for France has been significant. Losing access to Burkina Faso's gold mines disrupted major French corporations, which had previously dominated the region. Paris's influence in West Africa began to crumble, affecting not just its economy, but also its political standing in the region. Burkina Faso's rebellion inspired other nations, such as Mali and Guinea, to question their own relationships with France, leading to a broader decline in French influence across the continent. Chapter 4. Assassination attempts. Traoré's defiance came at a steep price. Over the past year, there have been 18 documented assassination attempts against him. These attempts are a chilling reminder of the stakes involved in challenging a global system built on exploitation. Each failed plot highlights the desperation of his adversaries and underscores the revolutionary nature of his leadership. These attempts weren't random acts of violence, but calculated efforts by both internal and external forces. Foreign powers seeking to maintain their control, local elites fearing a loss of influence, and rogue factions within the country have all targeted Traoré. Yet, each attempt has only strengthened his resolve. Traoré himself has said, "If you want to straighten the boat in such a country, you inevitably create internal and external enemies, but the fight must continue." Chapter 5. The Renaissance City. In response to these relentless threats, Traoré has focused not just on survival, but on building a legacy. Central to this vision is the Renaissance City, a sprawling urban development project designed to showcase Burkina Faso's potential and independence. Every inch of the city is a declaration of resilience, built by local talent and resources, free from foreign interference. The Renaissance City is more than just infrastructure, it's a bold statement. It symbolizes Burkina Faso's break from dependency on the West and its commitment to self-reliance. The project prioritizes local industries, supports innovation, and fosters sustainability. While France grapples with the loss of its influence, The Renaissance city rises as a testament to what an African nation can achieve on its terms. Chapter 6. Economic Independence. Traoré's leadership goes beyond symbolic gestures. One of his first major actions was the establishment of a state-owned bank, a move that severed ties with exploitative international financial institutions. This bank funds local businesses, supports agricultural development, and invests in renewable energy projects, ensuring that Burkina Faso's economy benefits its people rather than foreign investors. Agriculture, once overshadowed by raw material exports, has become a cornerstone of Traoré's economic strategy. By equipping farmers with modern tools and training, he has boosted local food production, reducing reliance on imports and creating jobs. Renewable energy is another critical focus. With abundant sunlight, Burkina Faso is investing in solar power, aiming for energy independence and reducing its vulnerability to foreign control. Chapter 7. Education and Innovation. Traoré recognizes that lasting change requires investing in the next generation. Under his leadership, Burkina Faso has launched scholarship programs, vocational training initiatives, and investments in technology. These efforts aim to create a generation of thinkers, innovators, and leaders who can sustain the progress he has initiated. By focusing on education, Traoré is not just building a nation, but empowering its people to drive their future. Chapter 8. Traoré's bold military response. The boldness of Traoré's actions did not stop at the education realm. His leadership also brought a military response that shook the foundations of French dominance in the region. In the face of growing insecurity and extremist threats, Traoré reorganized the military at an unprecedented speed. He established new units, equipped them with the necessary tools, and ensured that the army would become a force to be reckoned with. This was a direct response to the terrorist cells that had long been active in the region, and Traoré understood that a strong military presence would be crucial in defending the country's newfound sovereignty. His efforts were not without consequence. The rapid military reorganization and the commitment to combat terrorism in Burkina Faso were closely tied to his defiance of foreign powers, particularly France. Traoré's leadership was not just about restoring national pride, it was about protecting the nation from external forces that had long sought to maintain their grip on the country's resources. Chapter 9. France's decline and Burkina Faso's bold path. Burkina Faso's defiance has far-reaching consequences for France. The country's colonial past wasn't merely a chapter in history, it was the foundation of its modern economy. Wealth extracted from African nations, including Burkina Faso's gold reserves, fueled French industry, infrastructure, and global standing. Traoré's bold moves have pulled a cornerstone from France's influence in West Africa, unraveling a strategy that Europe has relied on for centuries. The loss of Burkina Faso's resources is more than an economic blow. It is a challenge to France's global identity. For decades, France portrayed itself as Africa's ally and protector. Traoré's actions have exposed the exploitation underlying that facade, disintegrating Paris's carefully curated image. As Burkina Faso rises under Traoré's leadership, France is left floundering, grappling with financial losses and the broader ripple effects on European stability. Chapter 10. The global implications of Traoré's leadership. Ibrahim Traoré's leadership extends beyond the borders of Burkina Faso. His defiance of powerful adversaries and his commitment to sovereignty have inspired movements across Africa and beyond. For those who have long benefited from the status quo, Traoré's leadership represents an existential threat. It challenges deeply entrenched systems of inequality and exploitation that have persisted for generations. Traoré's resilience, in the face of relentless opposition, has become a symbol of hope for many. Each failed assassination attempt is not just a personal triumph, but a symbolic victory for the people of Burkina Faso. It sends a clear message to the world: Burkina Faso will not be silenced. Traoré's fight is not merely for his own survival, but for the survival and prosperity of his nation. Chapter 11. Challenges and Risks. Defiance comes at a cost. Traoré's bold actions have not come without significant risks. His leadership has made him a target for both external forces and internal adversaries. The numerous assassination attempts, a chilling reminder of the stakes involved, highlight the relentless opposition he faces. These attempts are not random, but calculated efforts to destabilize Burkina Faso and derail its progress. The threats are not limited to physical danger. Economic sanctions, diplomatic isolation, and covert operations are among the tactics used by foreign powers to maintain control. Internally, the risk of betrayal from within his own ranks poses another challenge. Historically, African leaders challenging the status quo have often been undermined by internal divisions, and Traoré is acutely aware of this danger. Despite these challenges, Traoré remains resolute. His grassroots support, a testament to his connection with the people, has been his greatest strength. This unity has shielded him from many threats and reinforced his determination to build a self-reliant Burkina Faso. Chapter 12. What's next? Burkina Faso's story under Traoré is more than a national narrative. It is the beginning of a continental transformation, as nations across Africa embrace their identities and strive for independence. The decline of Western influence marks a rewriting of history. Africa, once seen as a resource to be exploited, is emerging as a force to be reckoned with, a continent filled with potential, creativity, and resilience. Traoré's leadership represents this transformation. His actions demonstrate that it is possible to challenge the world's most powerful nations and succeed. As Burkina Faso continues to build its future, the rest of Africa watches with anticipation. This is not just a fight for independence, it is a fight for a new era of African unity and progress. The question is no longer whether Africa can rise, but how far it will go. Under leaders like Traoré, the continent is poised to achieve unprecedented heights. As Burkina Faso continues to chart its course, the world watches with anticipation. Traoré's leadership has shown that it is possible to challenge the world's most powerful nations and succeed. But his journey is far from over. The threats against him and his nation remain, and the fight for true independence is ongoing. So, what do you think? Can assassination attempts and economic pressures stop a movement as powerful as the one Traoré has ignited? Let us know your thoughts in the comments. Don't forget to like this video, subscribe to our channel, and hit the bell icon to stay updated. Together, let's uncover stories that inspire and empower. Thank you for watching, and until next time, stay curious and stay strong.